Hi guys, welcome back to Cricut Monday. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to make a like a surgical mask that you can wear out, because now the CDC has said that everyone needs to wear a mask when they go out. Now I need to say right up front, this will not protect you from the coronavirus at all. But since they are suggesting it, and I think with the social distancing and the wearing of the mask, it's a very good idea. It definitely can't hurt you. And there's tons of videos on YouTube about these masks, but mine's going to be a little different. And I think I'm going to give you a little bit, maybe a different information than what you've heard. So I already have Design Space loaded here on my computer. And I'm sure many of you know that Cricut has face masks that you can make, and they have the small youth face mask, the youth face mask, the small medium, and the large adult face mask. And they do contain filter pockets, which I think is very important. Now I'm going to be taking this face mask. I'm going to make a small medium for myself, which I've already made that one. It was kind of like a template for me to see, because I kind of changed some things to see if that's exactly what I wanted. But in this video, I'm going to be making the large adult face mask for my husband. Okay, so you just click on this, and this will come up and it'll tell you that it's designed for the Cricut Maker. Now, if you have, like me, I have an Explore Air 2. I wish I had the Cricut Maker, but I don't. What you can do to cut this out with your Explore Air 2 is you can bond it. I've done it several ways. You can bond it to freezer paper using an iron or your Easy Press. And sometimes that will work, and use your fabric grip mat. Sometimes that works quite well, and I have used the bonded fabric blade. You can also use your fine point blade to do this. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it still kind of puckers, and they say that you haven't bonded your fabric well to the freezer paper, but mine looks like it's bonded fairly well. I mean, really nice. So, and sometimes it cuts perfect, so that's kind of iffy. I have also just put my fabric right on my fabric mat and cut it, the pink mat for the Cricut, and it will cut really good, except maybe it'll start puckering in one little place, but nothing to really cause it a problem. Or you can just use cardstock and make you a template from these patterns, and then cut it out with a rotary cutter, and by putting the template on your fabric. So that's what you can do. And then it tells you right here that this is not really, the mask isn't rated for disease control and won't protect you from COVID-19. But that, like I said, with the Surgeon General and the CDC saying that everyone needs to wear a face mask, I think it's a very good idea. And you don't want to take face masks from the healthcare professionals who are in such confined spaces with people that are severely ill, and then those virus particulates are just all over the air, so you don't want to take anything from them. And plus, masks are in short supply, so this is a way that you can make your own. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, I'm going to link in the description box the Olson Mask, which a lot of hospitals are using. I'm going to give you the instructions for that and the templates for that. And this will also tell you everything you'll need. Now I'm going to also be, like I said, I'm going to be changing this up a little bit. I'm going to have the outside of the mask, and then I'm going to have a lining for that outside of the mask because I wanted to make it thicker. And then I'm going to have that filter pocket in there. And then instead of using the straps here, the elastic straps, which I couldn't find any, I'm just going to be using ties, because that's what we used. We just tied them up and around. And then you'll definitely need a brayer. I found that helps a lot. and then it gives you the instructions, how you cut and how you assemble. So we're just going to go to make it, right bottom corner. Now for what I'm going to be putting in my filter pocket, like I said, or I think I said, some people are telling you to use the Filtrete Advanced Allergen Bacteria and Virus HEPA filter. The only problem with that is that HEPA air filters are made from very tiny glass fibers that are made into a tightly woven paper. And so to me, I think that could cause you problems later on down the road. That would be like breathing fiberglass in, and I don't think that's healthy. So we had a Filtrete Healthy Living Advanced Allergen filter for our furnace, and we already had this, and I picked this up at Walmart, and it's the 1500, and this, which I'm pretty sure this is what the Olson Mask is, what they're putting inside their filter pocket. I'm not positive, but they're putting in something that gets out 0.3, and that's what this says it gets out, is the 0.3. So that's what I'm going to be using in mine, and that's another way my video is a little different. So if you'll notice here, this is going to be your filter pocket. 1 and 2 will be your filter pocket. Then 3 and 4 are the outside of your mask. So I'm going to cut an additional 3 and 4 because I want something to line this as well. Okay, so we will go ahead and go to continue, right bottom corner. My computer is connecting to my Cricut, and I have my Cricut set to bonded fabric. Okay, now like I said, since I have the Explore Air 2, I have, like I said, I've tried different ways to cut it. I'm going to show you how to bond it to freezer paper, just in case you don't know. And I'll probably try to cut it out that way, and we'll just see how that turns out. I'll be right back. Okay, here is this piece bonded to this. This one is bonded to this one. And then this one is just plain. I'm going to try to cut it just plain, okay? Show you some options, okay? If you have the maker, you don't have any trouble at all. And I also made templates out of cardstock that you can reuse, okay? And my other one is here, right here. Right here, okay? So you can do it, like I said, if you don't want to bond it to the fabric to the freezer paper, you can just make templates, and that will work nicely. I've done that too. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is the first thing it's going to cut is it's going to cut the filter pocket, okay? I have cut it with the fabric side up and use just a regular pin like this. But I really wouldn't suggest that. I found that it works better if I actually turn it upside down and put the fabric right on the mat, then take my brayer and bray it. Push down really hard. I find that that gives me a better cut. Now we're going to insert this underneath into my Cricut with the blinking arrows, and then we're going to cut with the blinking C, and let's see how this turns out. Sometimes, like I said, it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now it's acting like it's drawing with the pen. So if you have a fabric marker, it will draw your seam allowance on there. Of course, on this paper, it wouldn't do you much good, but I think it's just easier to fold it back. That's what we've been doing. Okay, now it's going to cut it, and as you can see, that didn't work out. Now, I have cut some that works great. So let's try this again. Okay, I'm going to insert it with the blinking arrow, cut with the blinking C. Okay, now we'll eject it. As you can see, this time it worked pretty well. All I need to do is just take my scissors and cut right there, and then make one little snip here. I can totally see why people buy makers. And then just tear this off, and that gives us this one, and it's cut perfect. Okay, now we're going to cut number 3 and 4, which will be the outer mask. Okay, we'll eject it. Take this off. And it gave us a perfect cut. And then we just peel this away from our fabric, and we have the outside, okay? Now we're going to see what would happen if you just lay your fabric on here and you try to cut it. I would recommend, I think, since I've done this twice, I think I would recommend, if you're not going to do the bonding, which can be a pain sometimes, I would recommend just cutting a template out. When it works beautifully, but when it doesn't, it's a pain, okay? Now we're just going to try to cut the fabric. And this has not been bonded. Okay, I'll eject this. And as you can see, this cut just perfect without bonding anything, okay? So that's going to be my liner for the inside of this, okay? So I need to cut me 2 more of these. I've started my Cricut over again to cut out 3 and 4. And once again, I'm not putting any, I didn't bond it to the freezer paper. Okay, we have cut out Now, my husband has decided he wants his to look a little edgy. So the front of his is going to have the little polka dots and the big polka dots. And then the lining is going to be the little and the big. And then here's his pocket liner, okay? And I don't remember because I've been starting and stopping this so much. This is the Filtrete Healthy Living Advanced Allergen 1500 filtration level, that filter for the air conditioner that I'm going to be using inside these filter pockets. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you that, okay? So let's go ahead and start putting this together. Okay, now that we have everything cut out, like I said, my husband wants his looking a little funky, so he's going to have this for his front. Then his lining is going to look just like this, and then he has this small for his pocket filter, okay? So what you want to do to put this together is flip these good sides together. This is going to be the outside of the mask, and as you can see, they really do match up nicely. And we're just going to sew around this curve right through here on all three of these, and then now these are sewn. You can see it right here. Now what you want to do is right through here, use some pinking shears and just cut right down through here. If you don't have pinking shears, you can just take scissors and cut little V's. Just don't cut into your fabric. So that's what I'm going to do right now on this one. And it'll keep it from fraying. And it'll let that inner part lay down a lot better. Okay, just like that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut these other two, and I'll be back. And as you can see, when you turn it right side, it gives you a really good area for your nose to go in, okay? Okay, so what you want to do is open the rest of these and push them out like this. But like I said, if you don't have pinking shears, you definitely can just use the scissors, but you want to do this step because it makes it much smoother through there, as you can see. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take and put the liner side face up, and then we're going to put the filter side next to that, and then we're going to take, which is going to be the outside of the mask, and we want to put the good side facing down, okay? So we're going to turn it like this and basically just make a sandwich, okay? And I'm going to get my pins, and you want to line up these areas where we've sewn before. I'm not a sewer by any stretch of the imagination, but this really is not that bad. Okay, you want to line those areas up, and we're just going to go around and pin this top and bottom, and then we're going to sew it around the top of the mask and the bottom of the mask, but we're not going to sew the sides yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pins in and sew this, and then okay, it's sewn at the top and at the bottom. Now we're going to turn it right side out, and what you want to do is you want to get the part that's between the good side of your outer piece, the front, and your filter pocket, and start turning it that way and just pull it. It just takes a little bit of work. And you can get a bone to push the corners out, or scissors. I can't find my bones. I don't know what I did with it. Okay, and then fix it like it's supposed to be. You could press it at this point to get it really good. I'm not going to. You could press it down through this little edge through here, but you'll see this is the inside with the filter pocket opening right here, and right here, okay? And this is the outside of his mask, okay? Now what I want to do is I want to put this little piece of chenille stem. It's really soft. I cut it a roughly 4 inches, and I'm going to fold this one little part back on itself so it doesn't stick his nose. Okay, like that. And then I'm just going to take it and stick it right in through here and just kind of guide it right through there, because it will fit in there right now. Okay, and then that's in place. Then we're going to stitch it. Fold these in. Fold this in like this and pin it. Then I'm going to take my things for the strap and stick them right in here and sew them. When I get that done, okay, I forgot something. Before I sew the straps in, I forgot to tell you right here, before you sew this together, you need to fold these edges right here of the pocket filter down and just sew it together so it has a finished edge and it won't start unraveling when you start taking that filter in and out, okay? Now I'm going to show you how I made the straps. Okay, so I'll show you one of the finished straps, and it's 18 inches long, like I said, and this is how they look when you get them finished. So I cut mine 2 inches wide, and then I just kind of found where the center was, and then I folded in again, and then iron that, and then when I'm ready to sew it, I fold it over again. So that's how you do that. Okay, the sides are now sewn and the straps are in, and then I just knotted the ends right like that. You could also just flip these ends over and sew them if you wanted, or serge them, but I didn't. Now, as you remember, that nose piece is up in here. You want to continue with your mask, pulling it till you get it right to the top, and don't let it fall. Make sure it's centered in the top part of that nose piece. And we're going to sew it in place. And I'm just going to put some little pins right here to kind of hold it in place. Okay, and then what we want to do is sew now all the way around the top of the mask and the bottom of the mask, and then we'll be finished except cutting our filter and putting it. Okay, now here is how much, when you what I did to take the filter out of its container, I took it out of the box, and then it is glued, and you just have to, it has wire on it. You have to be careful, the wire is very sharp. I just started peeling it back little bit by little bit on both sides, and you can see how many masks you can get out of this. There's a lot. And what I've done is I went ahead and printed out templates for my husband's mask, but I think what I'm going to have to use is the smaller template for my mask for the filter pocket to cut this filter material out of, and just kind of work with it until it fits. But I wanted to show you his mask. It turned out really great, as you can see. There's the front, here's the sides, here's the inside, and here are his strings. But I think this is great. Here is mine. Now this is the first one that I made, and like I said, I'm not a sewer, a seamstress at all. This one kind of puckered, but it's going to be fine. I'm going to make me another one as well. And then here is mine with my filter pocket right here. And I knotted the ends of mine. Now his turned out, like I said, much better, but it was my second one. But here, like I said, he has his filter pocket on the inside. But this is a great mask to just wear around, especially when you put this filter in it. I think it will definitely help. Like I said, it won't prevent coronavirus, but it will help. Show you just how tight this mask fits. Okay, what I like about this is his nose. He has a very tight fit around that nose due to the chenille stem. You can see there's not a lot of room for anything to get in, and I like that. It's tight around his chin, which is very important. That's why I think this is a very good mask. Like I said, it won't prevent it, but it will help. Now you can, if you don't want to have straps that tie, you could get Velcro and get you some kind of elastic and put Velcro on that elastic so it would just do like that. But I think this is a great mask. Like I said, I took the Cricut mask and I tweaked it with different features that I thought would make it really good as far as I'm concerned. So I'll see you all on Tuesday, tomorrow, probably for a spring DIY. I found something that I really want to make. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye guys.